So I saw in my comments somebody was asking if the district attorney didn't charge any didn't file any charges and the detectives didn't file any charges and nobody filed any charges against this woman after a complete investigation. Why did so many people online believe she's a murderer? The reason that they do this, the reason they believe this is because they believe they have done a better investigation than the detectives did. They believe that by going off of the public record and their months of terrorizing me for reactions, they have concluded something important. They have come up with something that the judges and the lawyers and all that never saw, never understood. Only using half the story. Now, if they were looking at the entire story, they would likely come up with the same results that the district attorney came up with. They're not looking at the entire story. They're looking at what's in the public record. And there's a lot of the case that is not in the public record because it was withheld from the jury. Like the fact that she was pregnant. Like the fact that he had created a fake identity in order to date me to begin with. There's a lot. There's a lot. And with the thing with me, like, my life has become a giant game of telephone, right? I told the story. Somebody else picked it up, decided that there were parts that they didn't understand. So they added their own to make those bits make sense to them. Because my mind doesn't work like other people's minds. So to make my thinking make sense, the first person that picked it up had to add some things that weren't there originally. And then the second person that picked up the story, well, the story didn't make sense because now two people have written it. So that person adds what they need to make it make sense. And then the fourth person picks it up, and suddenly it's confusing as fuck because three different people have written it, and only one of them actually knew the story. And now the story that's out there is all sorts of jumbled, garbled bullshit, and the only one that's able to tell the full story completely is me. And I'm not believed. So the other question is, well, how come nobody has come forward to support you if you're not a bad person? They have. The people who are supposedly investigating and journalists have absolutely no journalistic integrity. They will only speak to people who are against me. There are multiple people on my Facebook who went to school with me. Were kind of, friends with me back then. They remember shit. One of them told me about a lawsuit that her family had against my family for using my little brother's diapers to assault their house. That's something that happened. I don't know how to find the lawsuit, but there was a lawsuit against it. So, what did this person go through? This person received messages from the people that were harassing me, asking them about my childhood. They told the truth. And do you know what the person who lived near me and knows the truth was told? They were told that they were making it up to help me. That none of that ever happened. That I had told them that happened and they believed it. So if you're going to go to a witness, listen to the witness's testimony and then say, well, yeah, we don't believe any of that. You were told that story, so go bye. You're not a witness. There is no integrity in that. None. The only people that they will interview and talk to are members of my family or people who dislike me. They will not interview people that like me. They will not believe stories told by people other than me. They won't believe it. They refuse. So if y'all are confused because the story makes absolutely no sense, it makes perfect sense if you read it from my original book. But after a year of it being picked up and telephoned for multiple people to profit off of and create a monster, most of the stuff they're saying isn't even true anymore. They're just they just make shit up, you know. They take the truth and they twist it until it's something bad. And it's my life that's being destroyed by it. You know, luckily I didn't really have a life to destroy. But that doesn't really make it any easier.